Do you want to sell your home fast and for top dollar? Well, here's the secret. It's not about a fresh coat of paint or a little bit of decluttering. It's about creating an experience. When buyers walk in, they shouldn't feel like they're visiting your home. They should feel like they're stepping into their future. Every detail counts, and in today's shifting market, preparation makes all the difference. Stick with me and I'll show you the secrets to getting it done right. Think of it this way. Your home is no longer just where you live. It's an investment. If you treat it like one, the results will amaze you. So let's dive into the secrets of preparing your home to sell. So first, let's talk about decluttering. And everybody's heard the word decluttering, and most people probably are sick of hearing about it. And I think part of that is they don't understand it. So first off, myself included, everyone gets more and more stuff as they live in a house, and it just seems to grow somehow. And the problem with that is that we don't notice it over time because we've added pieces here and there, and it just feels natural to us. But when a buyer walks into our house, we want them to vision themselves living in the house, right? Like I said, we want them to see their lives unfolding in your house. And for that to happen, part of what they need to do is visualize some of their stuff in your house. Well, if you have too much stuff, they can't do that. They can't visually take some of their furniture and put it in your house. They can't see themselves living there because they feel like they're intruding on your house. You know, it very much feels like your house inside your house. So we got to change that. And in order to do it, you probably need to take out about 50% of your stuff, believe it or not. 50%, maybe even more for some people. And so what happens to that stuff? Well, you need to, in your mind, get ready to move. And so that might mean moving that stuff into the garage, or better yet, into a storage facility, or selling it, getting ready for your next place. And I know that's hard to grasp, and so many people are very attached to their stuff, but it is a very, very necessary first step. And then next we walk into depersonalizing, and that is very much the same thing. A lot of times we have family photos and things that are very personal to us in our homes. And we want, again, the buyer to visualize themselves living there in your home and not feel like they're visiting your home. And if you have family pictures around, and I know they're dear to you, you need to put them away and be in preparation for your move. So your home should feel like a model home when a buyer walks into it, not like it's your home. Again, we're trying to treat our home as an investment, no longer like our home. Next, let's talk about paint. A lot of sellers object to painting their home because they feel like it doesn't need it. But once they start decluttering and depersonalizing, removing some of those pictures, and they can see that it really does. I mean, there's holes where the pictures were, and sometimes there's even a clean spot where the picture was. There's also marks behind the furniture, that type of thing, and it really becomes apparent that the home does need paint. And then the other objection that I hear often is that they'll let the buyers pick out the paint. And I understand that as well. It used to be true that buyers really would want to personalize the home, but today turnkey is really what buyers are looking for. They just want to move their stuff in and not have to hassle with doing repairs. So how we accomplish that is go ahead and paint your home and paint it to a neutral color. What's best is something in the white family, and there's lots of whites to choose from, and that's what's most universally appealing to buyers. And so we're trying to give us the largest audience we can as far as buyers that like your home, and that neutral white colors will help achieve that. The other thing you might want to consider is cabinets. Dark cabinets or wood grain cabinets were all the rage just not too many years ago, and a lot of homes have them. But today, a lot of those kitchens and bathrooms that have dark cabinets are looked upon as dark and dingy and not well lit. And the easy way to fix that is go ahead and have the cabinets painted. You wouldn't believe how brighter and more beautiful and almost brand new a coat of paint can have, a coat of paint really, and maybe some hardware can make all the difference in the kitchen and bathrooms. It's something to really consider, and paint is your friend when it comes to upping the value of your home. Next, let's talk about floor coverings. And floor coverings are a place where sellers, a lot of times they want to just give a credit to the buyer, but I would discourage that. First off, because like I said, a lot of buyers want their home to be turnkey. And secondly, we're trying to attract the widest group of buyers. We can't do that if we're selling a fixer, right? So we want to go ahead and replace carpets that are at all worn. If they're dirty and they can be cleaned without replacement, that's fine. But a lot of times carpets very quickly show wear patterns. And so it's really better if we just go ahead and replace them. When you do replace them, you want to use a neutral, light colored carpet with a low pile. A lot of those are available at very low cost. Same with floor coverings. Today, there are, like, for instance, VCT, the vinyl plank flooring, is very inexpensive to install, very inexpensive to purchase as well, and really can go a long way in making your home really that special home that a buyer is looking for. We're trying to cast the widest net that we can for buyers. And so if we can give them what they're looking for, it's best for ultimately for the money that we're going to put in our pocket and that short market time that's going to help us achieve that. Okay, so next is window coverings. And one of the biggest things on buyer checklists is natural light. And so we want to try and give that to them, right? The problem is, as sellers and as people living in a home, a lot of times we want light control and we want privacy. So we've purchased window coverings that achieve those things, but a lot of times they sacrifice natural light. And so we really got to take a close look at each window opening and determine whether or not we want to keep those window coverings or not, because natural light is so very important. And this holds true especially for people that have purchased shutters. And I can hear it right now from sellers saying, "Oh, I spent $1 million on my shutters and you want me to remove them." Well, the truth is even though you made a big investment in those shutters, they really can be costing you dollars in your pocket when it comes to the net sale price. And so you really want to take a close look at that. I get it, your shutters are probably beautiful, but they may be costing you money because that natural light will equal more money in your pocket at the end of the day when it comes to a sales price. Let's talk about repairs next. So if you're like me and like most sellers, some stuff has gone wrong with the house over the years, and maybe it wasn't that important, and so you decided not to fix it, or you just haven't gotten around to it. And it happens so often. I know for myself, I have several different things around the house. I can think of, like, there's a problem with the lights on my back patio. Not that important to me, so I haven't fixed it. Haven't fixed it in 2 or 3 years now, and it's probably time to get it done. But if you're selling your home, you really want to think about actually doing it. And there's a few reasons. One, when the buyers walk through your home, they a lot of times try things. They try light switches and stuff, and you want to give the buyers the impression that the home is well taken care of. And so when something doesn't work, a lot of times they start looking for other stuff that doesn't work. And so we want to keep that from happening. And the other thing is that during the escrow period, there'll be a home inspection, and anything that's wrong with a home is going to come up at that point. And so we want to nip that in the bud and go ahead and make sure that that repair is made prior to the inspection, because a lot of times the buyers overestimate the cost of repairs, and we want to avoid that, of course. So go ahead and make the repairs now. It'll go a long ways to a successful close of escrow and ultimately more money in your pocket. Speaking of inspections, a lot of agents recommend that you do a pre-inspection. And what they're saying is that they want to have you hire an inspector to come to the property and actually do a full inspection and create a report. And the problem with that is now you have a report that needs to be disclosed to the future buyers. And a lot of times on that report, there's some recommendations for other inspections. So now they've also recommended that you do a roof inspection, a sewer scope, a HVAC inspection. And so now, before you know it, you've done $1,000 or more worth of inspections, and you've created a laundry list of repairs that need to be made. And this, of course, all needs to be disclosed to the future buyer, along with all those reports. I don't think that's the best policy. I mean, traditionally and legally, it is the buyer's responsibility to do their own due diligence, and I'd let them do their own due diligence. I would, though, recommend that you hire a handyman to go through your home and look for any obvious concerns. So what I mean by that is this handyman will go under each one of the sinks, for instance, and make sure there's no corrosion on any of the water valves, on any of the drain lines, that they're all tight, that there's no issues or drips. Go to all the electrical outlets and test each outlet, make sure they all work properly, make sure their polarity is correct, make sure that they are properly grounded. Go to the electrical panel, make sure that there's no missing plugs or anything that is screwed in properly. Just go around the property in general and look for any issues and go ahead and take care of them at this time. That way, when the buyer does do their due diligence and when they do hire a home inspector, that the inspection report will come up relatively clean. And in the long run, this will go a long ways to making sure you're successful through escrow and that you have the best possible outcome. Okay, next, let's talk about lights. So lights are super important. Just like before we talked about natural light coming through the window, we all also have lights in our home that we can utilize to be more successful in showing our home. So what I mean by that is when you are getting ready for a showing, you always turn on every light in your home, and you do that to give the appearance of the home being larger and being brighter. And so every light, I mean. And that's also important in open houses. We want to give that same impression. We want to have it look like a model home. And if you've ever been to a model home, you'll notice that every single light in the place is on. So you definitely want to do that. And you also definitely want to make sure the lights are the same color. And what I mean by that is, if you've been shopping for light bulbs in the past few years, they come in different temperatures. And so something along the lines of like 2700K is a warm white, and it's a yellowish color light. And then there's, on the other end of the spectrum, something like 5600K, and that is a bluish color light that is daylight. And so what we don't want to do is mix and match these bulbs. So in the house that I'm living in now, when we purchased that, it had different colors bulbs in the hallway. And so there's like a bright white, and then a yellow, and then a blue, and then a yellow. And it just looked really funny. And so you want to avoid that in your home. The other thing that's important about lights is that when the buyer does their inspection, if one of the bulbs doesn't work, the inspector will mark that as inoperative. And inoperative means it doesn't work. They're not going to go try another bulb to see if it does work. They're just going to say that the home has a problem in that light switch or that light fixture or the wiring, who knows what it is, it's just marked inoperative. So we can avoid all of that for the price of a light bulb. Make sure that they all work and are in good condition. It's a great step towards your goal. Okay, so now let's talk about the outside of your home. Curb appeal, I'm sure, is a term you've heard of. What you may not be aware of is how important it can be. So oftentimes buyers will pull up to the front of your home, they'll sit there for a second, and then they'll drive right off. Never even got out of the car. Unfortunately, it happens more often than not. And so the outside of your home is really a reflection of what the inside of your home is from a buyer's perspective. So you want to take an honest look at the outside and determine, the condition of the outside. What does it really look like? I know a lot of times we, again, as homeowners, we get accustomed to the outside, and you want to try and put on a buyer's eyes and see it through that filter. So if the home's just dirty and you can get away with a power wash, that's great. But again, a lighter tone paint can go a long way. A lot of times the investment, the amount of the investment will be doubled or even tripled as far as the ultimate sale price. So something you really want to consider. And also you may want to consider just a little bit of landscape in there, maybe some mulch or some flowers to just give it that nice cheery appearance when people pull up for the first time. Okay, so the last thing on my list is deep cleaning. And when I say deep, I mean deep cleaning. And so as an example, a window, you want to clean the outside of the window and the inside of the window and the track that the window slides in, and you want to clean the window sill and the window screen. It should all sparkle. The floors need to be clean, but the edge of the floor where it meets the baseboard should also be clean, and the baseboard itself, the casing around each door, the doors themselves. In the bathrooms, all the vanities should be clean, as well as all the mirrors and the fixtures themselves. In the kitchen, all the cabinets should be cleaned, as well as all the appliances should be cleaned inside and out. Laundry room, same thing. I know this is a lot, and a lot of times it's best just to hire somebody to do the deep cleaning for you because it is a lot. But it goes a long way. For buyers, the cleanliness of a home reflects how well you take care of it. How well you take care of it speaks into the comfort level that they have, and especially speaks into their ability to, write their best offer because they feel that your home warrants it. Secondly, we use professional photographers when we list a home, and they are shooting in high definition video and still shots. And those cameras now pick up the slightest amount of dust and dirt. So you really want to make sure that your home is as clean as possible. All around, it all works together to get you the highest possible sale price and the lowest, shortest market time. Selling your home fast and for top dollar, it's not about luck. It's about preparation. When you create an experience that helps buyers see themselves living in your space, you've already won half the battle. Yeah, it takes some effort. Yes, it takes time and a little bit of money, but the payoff, it's huge. Shorter market time and more money in your pocket. So whether it's decluttering, fixing a few things, or simply letting some light in, treat your home like the investment that it is and watch the results. They'll amaze you. Thanks for watching today. Again, always like and subscribe. If you have questions, please put them in the comment section below. Love to chat. See you next time.